Yay! Okay, guys, so we are going to talk about part 2 of organizing. And I'm going to just show you how to use the focus folder. And even if you want to create your own, you can create your own. And I'm going to show you how I use it. And I'm going to show you how to use some of the sections that we've already got. If you're local, I always have these available monthly. So you can buy them monthly because it's monthly focus folders to kind of help you stay on track. And what I love about them is you file them away and then you can go back and follow back up with maybe some people that you forgot that you weren't able to connect with maybe a month or 2 months down the road. And it's going to be there. So hang on just a second. We've got some background noise. Hang on. Just bear with me. Okay, good. So my focus, I can't even talk, focus folder, what I love about it, it's got a section for your interviews, your monthly interviews, or now we call them career chats, okay? So you can write down your prospects and the date that you're meeting with them, or even if you haven't met with them yet, selling appointments, your potential selling appointments for the month. You go ahead and write those down. And if they cancel or they reschedule, you got a place you can go back and say, you know what, like if I put an X right here, it means I've got to reschedule these. I got a new date for them. Because, hey, I have cancellations too. You know, it's just the nature of the beast. It also helps you with your goals, setting your goals, keeping you the STAR consultant quarter deadline, keeping that in front of you, your retail sales goal, your wholesale order goal, things like that. And so love that front page. When you open it, all these little referral sheets that we get from the booths that we do, or even your green cards, okay? So I've done a couple of booths, and so I have some names here. I take a hole punch, and I punch 2 holes into the top of it, okay? And you can get these wire binders at Office Depot. When in the mortgage business, we use these all the time. It's what we kept files binded together with, and so I always loved them. And so I just incorporated them into the focus folder because these are loose and they end up all over your desk. They end up in your beauty coat pocket. Oh my gosh, at one point I had some in my bathroom. When I cleaned up my bathroom sink, I had them in my little basket. I'm like, oh my gosh. But if you do it like this and you bind them into your monthly folder for the month that you got them, you don't lose them, okay? And like I said, you can go back and follow up if it's a month, 2 months down the road, and maybe kind of reach out to them again if you were not able to connect. Now, on the inside of the folder, it's booking prospects. If you're sitting there in your car and you're brainstorming and somebody comes to mind, God placed somebody on your heart, you can just jot their names down here so that you've got that thought for a moment and you don't forget it, and you can go back later and try to book them. Same with team building prospects. You know, God always lays people on my heart, and my memory is so bad, and I just jot them down right here, okay? Now, on the other side, this is where I keep my referral sheets for the month of my personal ones that I've got to follow up on. And I keep them binded on the inside of this too with the same binder clips. Okay. Now, then on the inside of here, and I would always just lift it up and work on it. This is where, for when you're local to me, if you bring 6 guests to a meeting, once you have your 6 guests, you're going to get a single row diamond enhancer that's going to go around your Mary Kay pen. If you don't have a Mary Kay pen, that's okay. We'll get you one. And then you bring 6 more guests, and you just transfer the names over to your next month. Okay, you just always carry it over so that you can get to 18. But you get to 12 guests. Once you get to 12 guests, bring them to a local meeting as for a makeover, you get a double row enhancer. And then when you get to 18 guests total, you get your triple row enhancer around your Mary Kay pen. This is just to encourage you to always bring a guest so that you can earn while you learn to your local meeting. All right. Then down here, book follow-up career chats with layered guests. A layered guest is someone that you bring to the local meeting, or you bring to an event, and or that you talk to and that you need to get them in front of your sales director for coffee or whatever. Putting them down here lets you remember, oh, we did talk about this. Oh, she was interested. And, just a place to put their names, because like I said, we forget things. And having this, you can go back month after month and look through some of your best months and say, oh my gosh, I didn't follow up with her. Follow up is the key. Okay. So many people they fall, between the cracks because we forget to follow up, because they didn't maybe text us back right away, or, but you don't know what's happening on their end. What I love down here is always tell you to always have 3 irons in the fire. Okay. Always have 3 irons in the fire. Are you doing a booth? Are you doing a bridal expo? Do you have customer appreciation booths or employee appreciation days? Referral games, networking groups, asking customers to pass spa bag around for friends, 10 women getting 10 skin care surveys filled out for me, book parties, not facials, warm chatter, whatever, always have 3 things going on that's lead generating, that is generating new names, new activities, or, future income producing activities. And then I love these little bubbles. So how this works is, this is like at 5 weeks, because sometimes there's 5 weeks in a month, but it represents Monday through Sunday. And Monday, when you call the Quantum Leap line, you hear a motivational message every morning from a different national or different top sales director. And until Mary Kay gets all the Mary Kay training on, a device that you can listen through your phones, like a podcast, I would really just plug into this every morning so that you kind of get your jolt of motivation. We are the sales force, and it can be exhausting having cancellations or an event that didn't turn out right. You have to figure out how to stay motivated. And this is how I love the Quantum Leap. And so just watching this, you can even probably see, like if you fill in every bubble for the week, you can probably see how you end the week more energized, more motivated, not so down. When we get down, and we all do, we get down because the nature of our business, people disappoint us. That is never, ever going to go away. And that's why I'm always asking you, what are you reading? What are you reading? What are you reading? And because you have to work on you, because until you can handle until you figure out how to pull yourself out of a pit, God will never send you the people for you to lead, and to help them to get able to get out of a pit. If you're going to lead, you have to lead. And you have to have a life that people want to emulate. And so that's why I'm always reading. I am constantly reading, because I have to get myself out of the pit and then be able to help you guys. And if everybody's plopping on me, or if you're a leader and everybody's plopping on you and you can't handle it, that's just a bad place to be. Everybody's in the pit. Nobody can get out. And so having a Quantum Leap call every day to listen to stay motivated and know what you're reading. I'm going to show you guys in just a minute. I always take notes when I read. Always. So I always go to the Dollar General and I buy these little binders. Many of you are recipients of these great little binders at January Jumpstart every year, or sometimes even at Beach Retreat. I love these because they fit right down in my purse when I fly. I'm always reading and taking notes on the plane because that's quiet time to me. And so I take notes, and I'm always able to flip through and write and read some of my notes, and it just refreshes me of what I loved about that book. So that's the inside of the focus folder. The back side of the focus folder, I recreated so that it would help the BYOP group. And it's got your 4 weeks, it's got your IPA, your 1 IPA, your 1 booking, and your 1 reorder that you can track. And then it comes down, and at the end of the month, it helps you do your split. If you're not on profit level, it says 80-20. If you're on profit level, it says 60-40. You guys know what that means. And then it gives you what your paycheck is for that week. And then to make sure that you restock, that you do your restock for that month. And then your your team building commission. Go ahead and figure that out. If you don't know how to figure that out, your director needs to show you so that you always know what your income is for the month. And then you've got your total profit down here. And that way you can you're building this paycheck. So BYOP group, this is specifically for you. Now, what happens if you don't want to get these? These are $2.40 from me every month. You can take one and take it to Office Depot and get them to do a large cardstock copy, see if that works. Or you can just take a blank folder and write it all out yourself. That's what I used to do before I went and spent the money to have it printed. And it keeps everything in front of me. You can even keep your sales tickets bonded in here for the month. Now, I keep my sales tickets bonded on the outside when I owe somebody. Okay, if I owe somebody something, so like my neighbor or somebody owes me money. So like my neighbor went out of town for the weekend and she's trying the new foundation. And so she took a blending brush and she took the neutral 140 ivory. And I said, don't pay me until you get back. Let's see if you like the blending brush better. And let's see if you like this matte, because she wears cream to powder. And so I have this on the outside of my notebook so I don't forget to collect from her or settle with her. And that's what I do. Also, I showed you guys how I keep up. So I keep that. Remember these binders? I love these. I'm going to bind it back so I don't lose my referral sheet. Okay. And when I do my calendar, hang on just a second. When I do my calendar for the month, you guys know I have a big dry erase board in the kitchen so that my family knows what our schedule is. And so every Sunday night before I do this call, I erase the dry erase board, because Zoom is the last thing I do on Sunday night. I erase it. I go to let's say this is October. I have to work from at a glance. Okay, so when you go to get a calendar, there's lots of different calendars, and I really want you to look through there. Some people can do a week at a glance. I have to do the month at a glance, okay? I've learned that about myself. This business is a journey of self-discovery for real, and I know that I cannot do the calendars that have the week at a glance. I have to have the whole month at a glance. I also learned years ago, when my husband, he's a tech guy, and he thought I needed to get rid of my paper calendar, and for a year made me do my electronic calendar. I'm just going to tell you, it almost sent me I almost had a nervous breakdown. So now I know I cannot do an electronic calendar. I have to have my paper. So what I do is I have my at a glance. And then I take just a regular sheet of paper, okay? I used to just have a notebook, a spiral notebook, but then I got too many notebooks, okay? So now I just take a little piece of paper, and this is just a week. So it's always in front of me. So if I'm driving down the road, I'm like, oh, I forgot to drop off Tuesday, I've got to drop off my x-rays for my thyroid to the radiologist, okay? I've got a mail product. And it's a reminder for me to book my booth leads, okay? And so all of that is right here in front of me. And so it's upstairs on my board. It's in my at a glance, and now it's right here in front of me. And so if I get orders for deliveries, I can plug them in right here, okay? That's how I keep it. So with me, out of sight, out of mind. And that's why everything is right here at a glance for me, like the orders I need to fill, money I need to collect. They never get filed away. And then if I'm working on my bookings, I've got to fill up my prospects, my referrals, my leads. Everything is right here, and it's tucked inside here. I also have a director focus folder that I work for my team members, okay? So it's a place for new team members, what I need to follow up with them on. The cabin contest, by the way, that nobody has booked any interviews for. This was ready for them. And then when we do 100 interviews, this is where I would fill in the bubbles just to track us each month. And then who I'm moving up. And so I've got to fill all that out. So that is helping me stay organized. Now, when we talk about what you're reading, and I know I've touched on this a little bit, if you want to be a sales director, you've got to constantly be reading something, okay? Because you've got to be improving and staying motivated and staying really, you've got to be in, what am I saying? What am I trying to say here? You've got to get to a point where your lows are not as low, and your highs, because you don't always want to be bouncing off the walls. People can't stand that, but you have to be where you know the answer. You've been there, done that, and here's something that I read here. This is why I love taking notes, and I can just open it up, and it says, as far as your dreams, God doesn't always download the entire dream at one time. It would overwhelm us. But make no mistakes, his plans and purpose are beyond what you can ask. He wants to use you in ways you cannot imagine. Your job isn't to accomplish the dream. Your job is to stop making excuses and start obeying. God gives us a little piece of the plan, a little bit at a time. Like happiness, destiny isn't something you discover by seeking it. It's a byproduct. You don't find it by looking for it. You find it by looking for God. Then your destiny finds you. Little stuff like that, it's just so much that you learn from when you really read a great book about leadership, about and here's something about legacy. I love this. You aren't aware it's not the immediate impact that matters most. It's the exponential impact to the third and fourth generation. This is about legacy, okay? An inheritance is what you leave for someone. A legacy is what you leave in someone. And knowing that when you are called to lead, it's bigger than you. It's bigger than us. Just like what I'm doing right now and what I'm learning right now it's going to impact Mary Beth down the line. It will impact Mary Ann's daughters down the line. And so where we are right now, somebody 3 and 4 generations back from us said yes to a Mary Kay opportunity. And it somehow affected us here right now. And so when you do have an appointment that cancels, or you have an event that doesn't turn out to be what you want it to be, it's okay. It's not the end of the world. You cannot ever let one thing destroy what you're in this for. I know I'm going deeper than organizing, but I just felt led to talk about that, and I'll talk more about that later. But Mary Ann, let me go ahead and turn it over to you, because I'm sure you've got some great organizational tips for us tonight.
Hey guys, for those of you who she talked about just making your own focus folder, think about the things that she wrote about. We talk about attract, number, growth. And so think about the ITAs, especially if you're in the BYOP group, the tasks that we have you do, those are the things that you want to have on your focus folder. And so I remember when I was in DIQ, I had a manila bifold folder, and one column was my personal sales, and it had my goal for the month written on top. written in, I think it was retail numbers. So that way, you know, I sold in retail prices. So I just deducted from that. So let's say my retail sales goal was like $1,000 for the month. I put 1,000 at the top, and then each time I would sell something, I would write their name and, you know, Susie, $51, and I would subtract it and just, you know, write the next number and keep going down, you know, so that my goal was to get down to zero so that I sold my $1,000. My next line was my hotties, the people that I wanted to interview. And then this was, you know, as I built my team, then I had like the names of my team members and whether they were active or qualified. And I used like stars or highlight. And then the other column was our team production. And so, you know, even if, you know, you're not in DIQ or something, you can be working towards just having a team goal, like your team hitting 1,000 in a month or something like that, you know, something to celebrate over, you know, being the highest producing team out of the unit, whatever, make something up. So that's basically what it was. And then somewhere else on the folder was kind of like my brain dump, like Michelle was talking about. When you think of somebody, write their name down. It too was like my follow-up sales. Oh, talk to this person. Oh, I probably want to book this person later. I wrote their names down. So you just, as you're working and you remember things, you just write them down and it kind of creates itself. And so that's how Michelle came up with this focus folder, is from all the thoughts and all the things that we need. So that's how things get created, or out of a need. And so just as you're working, it's going to come. That was so basic and simple for me. And that's all I needed as a consultant.
Yes. Thank you. All right. So yeah, I mean, it's super simple. You don't have to have, let me just say this. How can I say this? I never worked from an extra sheet. I mean, I've always kept things simple. Anytime the director that I used to be, I would go to an adopted meeting, and she was the handout queen, and it would shut me down. And my senior in San Antonio knew that all these handouts were overwhelming me. And she would say, throw them away, throw them away, throw them away, just like I do for you guys. I don't hand out anything. You know, you book, you coach, you sell, you recruit. And you just, you know, you write it down, what you got to do, your daily things, make your deliveries, your follow-up. That's it. That's it. Don't get overwhelmed, and don't let other people overwhelm you with busy work. I hate busy work. Okay? Hate busy work. And so that's why, yes, go ahead.
I was going to show you. Let me show you things that I'm using now. I act like I don't have anything to talk about. So mine has evolved into this, and it was similar to, I saw Pam Shaw's thingamajiggy, and you know, I just wasn't willing to pay $30 every 3 months, and I was like, so one of my awesome consultants did, and I was like, tell me what you think about it. And she said, I liked it, except it didn't have room to just brain dump. And so I said, Chris, awesome husband, so he designed it very similar to hers. And so here is my day by the half hour. And at first he made it from like 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. I was like, babe, I need that from like 7:30 all the way down to 10 p.m. at night. Yep. So he fixed it. And so I can write in what I'm supposed to be doing in each little half hour block. So I don't have to think about it or remember. All I do is look at the dang paper. Down here, booking. It has like 30 booking attempts. And so I write down their name. Then underneath it is my list of new reorder sales, and then, new sales, like when I hold an appointment or acquire a new customer. And the next one is reorder sales. Notice the things we're tracking: booking and sales. And then for me as a director, I am keeping up with my new consultants, having conversations with seasoned consultants, coaching my own personal appointments, because that's the thing I got to do. So I got to have it on my list. Booking interviews, because that's a thing, and then holding the interviews, because that's something else. And so it's all here. So I can visually see what I did. And then this cool thing. So then there's my brain dump part right there. And so that includes things like dinner or grocery list or get dressed, whatever. Then underneath it says activity summary, because he's a numbers guy. So it has like total booking attempts, notes, total appointments booked for the day, total appointments coached for the day, total interviews for the day, products sold for the day. And so that way I can see how much IPAs I did for the day, like quantified. So that's what my hubby did. And so if you're like, that is my jam, that's what I need, you know, we can alter it. So for a consultant, if need be, and we can email that to you.
Very good. All right.
You don't have a calendar that you don't like if you don't do, because I used to do the notebook thing and I was like writing all those things down every day. You see how we've evolved.
Yes. And you figure it out as you go. I wish we could say that this is all I've ever used. No, it's not. I don't even know how much money I've spent on calendars, but you have to figure out what you like, what your style is. All right, Trinity, what, are you available?
Hey, yes, I'm so sorry I'm late. Oh my goodness. The
That's
baby's
okay.
sick. So it's our first time having a sick baby. Oh my goodness. It's been awful. So I'm so sorry that we are running late, or I'm running late. And she, of course, is asleep in the guest bedroom where my office is. So I can't show you my awesome bulletin board that I was planning to show you tonight.
Oh, no.
Michelle said this, and I just want to reiterate that attract number grows. And so I have this big whiteboard that I use. So I did the awesome printable thing that I would use, and I would fill it out, and it was awesome, and then I would leave it somewhere, and I would always forget where I left it. So the whiteboard, I can't lose it because it's literally attached to my wall. And so that's why I love using the big whiteboard. Plus it makes me feel super official when I have a dry erase marker and I can just draw all over it. So I love using the whiteboard, and I can just erase and write, and I have my big goals there, and then I have our unit goals, and I have different things like that. But my biggest thing for me, because my brain is going 5 million miles an hour, I am just trying to think of what is the most simple thing. Like Michelle said, as soon as I got on, don't do all the excess, don't do all the craziness, all this extra busy work. You want to pick the thing that you're focused on and track it. Sell, book, recruit. Those 3 things are the most important. Mine right now, because we're on target for Equinox, is recruiting. Whenever I personally recruit team members, I get extra car credits towards my car. And so right now my goal is to recruit 10 personal team members by December 31st. Well, y'all, because I've been so uber focused on this and I've been really, really pounding it out, I've added 3 new team members in October. It's the 13th, but it's just because I've been so focused on this. Sometimes my focus is parties. And so I really want to book a party every single day for the entire month, and I'm filled up. But this month and for the next couple months, it's going to be recruiting. And so it's just such an important thing to figure out, I'm sure they said this, what you want to do, and then work backwards from it and figure out what you need to track. So I want to earn this car. And the easiest way to do that is to personally add team members myself. And so I need to work backwards and see how many team members I need to add by December 30th in order to achieve enough car credits to where it would be an easy thing. And so that's what I'm really focused on. And it is just so important, because I was very, at the beginning, I was like, oh, I don't need to track it. It'll happen. My money was coming into my bank account, going out. Josh was like, how much money are you making? I don't know. It's just awesome. And so it's really important to track those numbers, whatever it is you're working on, and to keep track of it. That's why they have all these different options out there. Whatever Michelle's using, what Marianne's husband made, whatever it is that works for you, the weekly plan sheets, those are essential for your week in order to make it what's best for you, so that you're working in the time that you have available. I mean, Marianne and Michelle have 5 children. Like, they have to have this planned out and scheduled. I have 1 child, and I'm like rolling in here like I don't even understand right now. So you have to have a plan for your week. You have to have it tracked. You have to have these things that whenever you have free time, you're able to work. So that's the biggest thing that I want to add tonight, is that whatever it is, just have something. And if you need all the ideas, there's plenty of ideas on here tonight. And then of course on different national sales directors websites, you can find other ideas. And we can help. Your director wants to help you. So we can help you customize a plan. If something is overwhelming or underwhelming, whatever it is that you need, we can customize it for you so that you are really producing your maximum efficiency. So let us help you with that for sure. So there you go.
Thank you. All right. So here's one last thing I want to say is if you are seeking other organizational tools, just know that every different personalities create different things, and they have to, some people that are I personalities, they have a lot of detail in all their tracking. And for people like me, a D personality, just I'm black or white, it shuts me down. It totally shuts me down every time. But if you're a C personality and you've got to know where everything is, you're not going to like my style because it's just black or white. Okay. And so find your style, but please know that when you start sharing this business with other people, I'm going to say this again, do not take your style to the interview, okay? More than likely, you are not bringing someone to the table to meet with your director that is the same personality. You're going to lose her. You're going to scare her away. You let your sales director bring her material, and because you saw what I bring cardstock, I bring Step to Success, and I bring my party chat book. That's all I have. Because I've literally seen the C personalities and the I personalities, and granted, those are two different spectrums of the personality chart, but for some reason, they all have to have all this stuff. They come like this, and I've seen literally as fast as I got, you got your prospect in there, she was out the door overwhelmed. And so please know that you keep your style to yourself. Even when you're a sales director, and you just really study your people and what they need, and you give them that freedom, okay? And so there, I just want to say that I hope that totally makes sense. But okay, guys, all right, so we're 1 minute after this is recorded. So this is going to be called Organizational Part 2, and we hope that it was helpful. You can go watch Part 1. It's already on there from last week. And hope everybody has a great evening and a great week, okay? Good night. Good night.